Good afternoon, everyone. Super excited to kick off our breakout sessions this afternoon with a very special fireside chat here in the Open Theater. Well, it's also San Francisco Blockchain Week, so we're super excited to have Justin Sun from Tron joining us for a fireside chat with John Jun from Samsung. Please welcome them to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. And it's still morning? No, actually afternoon. All right, this is my great pleasure to have Justin here today at Samsung Developers Conference to hear about his vision and his experience about Tron, and then his expectation from the partnership between Samsung and Tron. So, yeah, please feel free, if you have any questions, raise your hand. I'm just kidding, don't ask any questions, okay? All right, Justin, it's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, all right, so how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. So what have you been up to these days? I mean, you've been traveling like crazy these days?
Yeah, we searched partnership all around the globe. Try to promote the blockchain adoption as soon as possible.
Got you, okay. I heard that you just came from Mexico.
Yeah.
Was that for vacation or was for work?
Oh, basically it's just more like for a retreat.
Okay, got you,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you drink a lot of margaritas and all that?
No, I stay super.
All right. I saw you guys are all laughing. I don't know, he's hiding something, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get started right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So many of people here are kind of curious what Tron is doing, what Tron is about. So tell us about Tron. So I think it's a great time, great opportunity for you guys to brag about Tron from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
Yeah, sure. I kind of started the project 6 years ago, but at that time there's no even a word like blockchain. So for these past 6 years, we have been doing a lot of things. So right now we position ourselves like a next generation infrastructure of the blockchain. So that's why we collaborate with Samsung to offer the blockchain infrastructure for the developer around the globe. So in the future, I think every developers, they can feel free develop their decentralized application on top of Tron and use the blockchain and build their sidechain and interact with the end users.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So I know Samsung, we've been actually providing Samsung key store solutions since S10, since early this year.
Yeah.
And then it's a great opportunity for us to have a Tron protocol on top of that one.
Yeah.
So we kind of expect a lot of user value added services with the Tron as well.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's what you're actually looking for too. So what makes Tron so unique compared to other blockchain solutions?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I have one of the Samsung Galaxy Fold phone here.
Woohoo! All right.
So you can just fold like this. So you can see in the settings of the Tron supported in the Knox Samsung cold storage, and then you can feel free to use the Tron link here to receive and send TRX instantly. Yeah.
So you like the fold?
Yeah.
Fold? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I mean, it's glad to hear you like it. So from our partnership between Tron and Samsung.
Yeah.
So what kind of benefit can we deliver together to Tron developers out there?
Yeah, sure, totally. This time, Samsung Knox support 4 blockchain: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, and Clayton.
That's correct.
I think the Bitcoin support is more for the storage of value, and Ethereum is more for decentralized finance. And the Tron is the only blockchain the Samsung support is for the decentralized application. Because we offer a very good scalability and at the same time instant transaction with all the dApps inside of the Tron ecosystem. So that's why I expect in the next 6 and 12 months, we will see lots of the dApp actually built on top of the Samsung ecosystem. So that's why I believe the key store is not only for the storage of value. You can literally see lots of the developers develop dApps and the games on top of Samsung and interact with users. I think in the future, hundreds of the millions of people start to use blockchain. It's not only for just for lots of the volatility like today. They actually have the real user case. And at the same time, they don't even need to know about blockchain, but they can get the benefits from the blockchain.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I truly believe there are lots of benefits from our partnership. But let me just ask you one kind of technological, like a challenge question for you.
Yeah, sure.
So we, Samsung, providing Samsung Key Store where people can actually keep their private key.
Yeah.
The private key is a very essential portion from Samsung, I mean the blockchain philosophy in there.
Yeah.
My question is, I got this question many times. What if a user, I mean, let's say a phone, what if you lose that phone?
Oh, sure.
Then what's your thought around that one? I mean, do you have some kind of like a good plan how we can actually restore and back up the private key?
Yeah,
you
sure.
thought about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
First of all, I think we urge like everybody, when you open your secret wallet, you need to keep the secret phrase in like a Bank of American, like a vault. You need to put actually the physical like piece of the secret key someplace else. So that's why when you lose your phone, you can get recover.
Okay.
Because that's some like mistake people can make. It's only storing the phone. So once the phone lost, you lost your assets as well.
Okay.
So you need to keep the
piece of paper.
Yeah, exactly.
The phrases. Okay. So let me ask you this idea. So there was discussion about like keeping that private key in centralized server.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand a lot of people, they actually trying to save their recovery phrases on the physical piece of paper, but it's kind of an old-fashioned way.
Yeah, exactly.
So some people actually ask me, what if we have like a central server so we can actually store our private key in there?
Yeah.
What do you think about that idea? Do you think it's kind of against about the philosophy of blockchain, or do you think that that's kind of a good idea?
Yeah, I think that's actually a kind of good idea. So I think this is two different level of the security. So if you hold like hundreds of millions of dollars of the assets, you may have to use the cold storage and all the like very high level kind of the protection. So basically cold storage, and you put safe phrase in the vault. But if there is only like thousands of dollars, I think definitely we can store in the centralized server so people can easier to get access. And then for the security problem, we can cover by the insurance. So I think these days, lots of the crypto insurance companies provide this kind of the service as well. So if you lose the money, you can get the recover. And also you can get the benefits from the centralized storage. So you can call the API or call the assets just from like a fingerprint, right? Face recognition. So it's gonna be much convenient for most of the users for use blockchain.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I mean, this kind of insight, this is something we actually need to more develop and discuss more. I know there are some pros and cons about that idea.
Yeah.
So let me just move on to kind of different topic about 5G.
Yeah.
As you can see in Samsung Developers Conferences right here, the 5G is kind of big buzzword.
Yeah.
You can actually see that.
Sure.
So do you believe 5G can actually drive the adoption of blockchain overall?
Yeah, sure, definitely. First of all, I think 5G definitely is very promising. Not only for like games, other applications, but also for blockchain. Because the reason is very simple. So 5G provides a very good speed for the blockchain to communicate with each other. I can take an example. So right now, Tron is also collaborating with BitTorrent. We developed like a new decentralized storage plan called BTFS, BitTorrent File Storage System. So this is a completely decentralized storage plan. So this requires phone talk to each other. So basically, the phone, like for example, my files in my phone is also storage encrypted in other people's phone as well. So even I lost my phone, I can, if I remember the secret phrase, I can recover these kind of the all the files and the secret key from other people's phone as well. So that's why we need lots of the 5G technology, make the phone easier to talk to each other, so we can easier to get access to other people's phone.
Okay.
So so basically, you may have a question. So why I share my phone storage to others, right? So we have that like this kind of incentive program. So if you share your storage to others, you can actually make a lot of the cryptocurrency out of the sharing. Yeah.
I mean, like you just mentioned BTFS, it's
Yeah.
kind of really easy to remember because
Yeah.
I thought it was all sort of like a BTS, K-pop. BTS, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. So, I mean, I saw your booth in the hall.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys showing there? What are you trying to show to people here through your booth?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I think the first function of the booth we are representing is instantly send the cryptocurrency with the Samsung phone Knox embedded into the Samsung phone. So it's going to be extremely easy, instant transaction for everyone.
Okay.
This is the first thing. And the second thing I think is the DApp ecosystem. We have 3 games available on the phone. So you can literally see how we play the game with the blockchain embedded into the game. For example, one of the game is Champion Fighter. So you can have 2 fighters fight against each other with your friends, and the winner can take the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's almost like a gambling game.
No, it's more like depends on the fighters. You can know you can win the game.
So it sounds like, I mean, you guys are very strong at the game sector with the blockchain, but there are so many other applications with the blockchain, not only game, but like a finance, all that kind of stuff. So you've been actually spending a lot of time and efforts and investment on the game sector.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your next plan for your business? I mean, like, from your business plan perspective, is there a different sector you guys want to focus on later?
Yeah, sure. I think right now we are full speed on the game. But in the future, I think decentralized finance is also very promising. Actually, we already are doing some of this stuff. We collaborate with Tether. It's also one of the largest cryptocurrency stablecoin provider in this industry. We announced the partnership at early October. At the end of this month, the total assets issued on Tron blockchain already surpassed 800 million. So right now we already have lots of the users start to use the Tron-based stablecoins to send to each other. So that's why I think in the future payment and also offline payment. So for example, with the Knox embedded, you can actually, without the internet, you can transfer the money from this Samsung phone to another. We call this more like a warm transaction. So you can sign the transaction and send to your friend, and then you can broadcast it when you got the internet. So you can make the offline payment. And also at the same time, you can buy stuff and also use the stable coin for the decentralized finance.
Okay. Wow. So that is just news to me.
Yeah,
this is great.
exactly.
So I mean, is that stable coin idea is only for certain countries, or I mean, are you guys targeting kind of global?
Yeah, it's global. So you can send money just like internet, right?
Okay.
So it's like across the globe. So I think maybe the only constraint is the regulations, right?
Exactly. That's my next question. Yeah. So I know there was a kind of a really promising article just a couple of days ago. The president of China, President Xi, mentioned about the bright future of blockchain.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are some kind of strict regulations on there too.
Yeah.
So how do you balance those two? I mean, I heard the blockchain price is kind of jacked up by 40% after President Xi's announcement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great news, but at the same time, there are some regulations. So how do you balance those two?
Yeah, sure. Definitely, I think the news is amazing. So this is like the first country set up the blockchain to be their like a strategy in the next like 5 years even. So that's why I think have lots of the good impact on the U.S. regulatory side as well. That's the first thing. And the second thing, I think even Tron, we are originally developed by the Chinese. So we will also increase our presence in China. Right now we are setting up the office in Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and other cities as well. So definitely I think for the future 3-5 years, China gonna have a very bright future on the blockchain.
Gotcha, okay, all right. So that is actually a good segue, because actually my next question is about your insight about the next 5 years with the blockchain. There are some pros and cons. What do you think about bright side of the future next 5 years with the blockchain? Now, what is the dark side of blockchain next 5 years, and how are you going to overcome those? Do you have some ideas and insight?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I think it's still the regulatory side problem. So that's why I believe we will first of all develop the blockchain on the country who is friendly to the crypto first, before we move to those countries very conservative, where they have concern about the cryptocurrency. I think that's the first one. And then the second thing is always, I think, is the mass adoption.
Yeah.
So, but I think definitely the partnership with Samsung is a fantastic news, because I don't know if you know this fact is like, for the past like 10 years after Bitcoin was invented, the most of the cryptocurrency ecosystem is built on top of the desktop. The reason is very simple. Because at Google, both Google and Apple is very conservative towards the blockchain, so they kind of like block like all the blockchain applications on Apple Store, on Google Store. So that's why the ecosystem on the mobile is not like very good in the past few years. But since like Samsung start to support the blockchain, I definitely see this is the beginning of the blockchain mobile era, yeah, as well. Yeah.
All right, I mean, this is great. I mean, like, we are actually in full throttle to come up with the kind of good ideas in terms of the ecosystem of blockchain.
Yeah.
We're also very open to partnership as well. That's one of the reasons why you have a really good partnership with the Tron as well.
Yeah.
So we are, from Samsung's perspective, we are still kind of like a platform player.
Yeah.
We are not really developing any app layer yet.
Yeah.
That's why we actually need the partners like yourself right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So my last question for you is, what if there is one thing, if you guys are really hoping for
Yeah.
from Samsung's partnership,
Yeah.
what is that going to be?
Yeah, sure. I think we want to have like a joint efforts with Samsung promote blockchain development with all the Samsung developers in the ecosystem. So because actually before we partnership with Samsung, we already launched lots of the developer competition and also a hackathon with developers, try to develop like the apps on top of Tron. And after this partnership, we definitely want to collaborate with Samsung to ask like more Samsung developers and other developers in Android, in iPhone, iOS to jump on board and develop the first blockchain mobile game on top of the Samsung and the Tron. So that's something I think we want to pull lots of the resources, even investment and also sponsorship to those teams and help them to build a game.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just looking at my time right there. I still have some time to ask you my second last question. All right, so I always ask this question for anybody who actually working in blockchain industry.
Yeah.
How would you describe blockchain in one or two words?
If one word, I think is trust.
Trust.
Yeah. If two words is
I can help. So my definition, two words of blockchain is data integrity.
yeah. Yeah.
What is your, I mean, I want to still hear you.
Yeah.
Two words.
Two words, I think is more like, I think it's
Data
increased
integrity.
trust.
Increased trust.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. I mean, Justin, this is great. I mean, so at the this year's Samsung Developers Conference, we announced the partnership between Samsung and Tron. Like Justin just mentioned right now, Samsung is in full throttle to like propagate the blockchain ecosystem throughout the many industries right now. We are very open to any partnerships, anybody in terms of blockchain. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about blockchain in Samsung. And then hopefully we can have this kind of session in very near future
Yeah.
with a more fruitful outcome between
Yeah.
Samsung and Tron.
Sure.
All right,
Well,
thanks for your time.
Thank you so
Justin.
much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, so you have a minute and 30 seconds left. What do you want to do? All right. Any question? Maybe I think we can spend like 90 seconds to answer your question if you guys have anybody from here. No questions? Did we answer all the questions? Anybody?
Do you consider Samsung blockchain wallet as a competition to your wallet?
Oh,
No, it's actually complementary from my
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Because so it's basically you are actually looking at black and white perspective. But from my perspective, it's like a complementary because Tron's focus and our focus is different, you know. But we can actually build our leadership and we can actually fulfill industry's needs by going that industry together. So we are not really looking at their wallet as a competitor, more like a complementary.
Yeah, I think so. So basically, actually, we invest lots of the money in the wallet. It's also just trying to increase the user case of TRX. So if we have like a better infrastructure level of the support, we definitely even willing to help like Samsung build their wallet as well.
Yeah.
So like which way the user feel the best, I think we can serve the purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And the one thing I can add on that one is right now we are at the stage of educating people about blockchain, the benefit of blockchain. We are not at the kind of like right here yet. We are still right here. We have to work together. So if we're looking at each other as competitor, we're going to be still staying here. We have to work together to get up here, and then maybe we can talk about competition. But we are not there yet, so we have to work together.
Yeah,
That's how I actually looking at it.
yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Thank you.